Well, it's a little windy where we are, isn't it, sweetheart?
It sure is.
Ooh, yeah, yeah.
Is it really loud?
No, it's actually not that bad. It's better than I thought it was going to be.
Good.
Well, welcome to the Final Percent podcast. We are on location. We're in Wyoming, picking up our camper and helping my dad do some stuff as a family. And if you hear a little wind in the background, I want you to experience what we're experiencing. You can go over to the YouTube channel. I believe it's Greg L. Kimball, and you'll be able to see where we are. We're probably at, 9,000 feet?
Over 9,000 feet, I'm sure.
And we've got a beautiful scenery. We are podcasting from the back of my truck. And in case you're wondering... If you're out there and you're trying to get something started and you're trying to move forward, I mean, honestly, all I have to ask you is, what's your excuse?
That's fair.
You have no excuse. We're literally in the mountains in the back of a truck, and we
got some folding chairs.
That
are purple, by the way.
The wind is rearing its ugly head, but we're in Wyoming, so you know what? It happens. Can you grab that really quick? That's about to go bye-bye. So if you want to see what almost just blew away, please go over to the YouTube channel. But Kayla and I want to talk a little bit today about just the importance of support, the importance of trying to really keep an open mind so that you can always encourage your mate, your business partner, the relationship, the friendship, whatever it might be. We want you to understand that adventuring with your spouse, adventuring with your business partner, your friends, is really important, right?
Oh, 100%. And he told me about this idea a few weeks ago, though it's been culminating in his brain for quite some time now. And I immediately thought it was a fantastic idea. Yeah. And I didn't even really know you had all of this stuff with you in your truck and you were prepped for this weekend. But as soon as he's like, yeah, let's just go up into the mountains and do a quick podcast. I'm like,
just see what happens.
Sure. I'll join you on this journey and see what happens. And I have to say, this is pretty incredible. And this is a first for me.
We're actually, it's gone so, we're so far up into the mountains. We're down Sand Lake Road to the point where we actually have, there's such ridges that have accumulated in the road that the truck felt like it was sliding off the mountain. And if you saw the cliffs that we were on, it's pretty crazy. So it's the epitome of adventuring. But we want to illustrate the fact that, we say so often, and I know that you've heard this before, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And I don't always subscribe to that thing because I think everyone's starting something, but no one's finishing something.
Right.
And this is the epitome of execution. I mean, if you're going to do it, then do it, right?
Right. There's going to be obstacles. There's going to be roadblocks, but you have to overcome it. And even I said this morning, I'm like, isn't it really windy? Like, how are we going to make this happen? And Greg's like, I don't care. I don't know. We're going to figure it out and we're going to do it and we're not going to let anything stop us. And Here we are.
Exactly right. Well, and that's kind of like our marriage, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's just, we went through so many different things that just absolutely would crush most. And I don't want to say couples per se, because we're not just talking about couples. Now, yes, there's a different element because we are married in business, but for all intents and purposes, you are my main and best and most important business partner. And I think that it's important to like who you are in business with. A lot of people say, don't mix business with pleasure. Mm-hmm. Well, if you're going to spend all this time on earth working and playing, why not try to combine the two, Oh,
100%.
I think that that's important. So we have overcome so many different things, and we have gone to battle together, for each other, with each other. Some good friends of ours named Doug and Tia, they use the word contend a lot, and I love that.
Like, I do too.
Contend for a better life, contend for a better marriage, and I think that's maybe their version of go the final % for something.
Right.
And that's kind of what we're all about. We want to figure, okay, let's go the final percent for one another. Let's go the final percent in this podcast. And piggybacking off the last podcast that I had is I realized, I have all these extra things that most podcasters don't, from, like we illustrated last time, auto-tune, the fact that I can sing a little bit, and just the fact that, I can bring this stuff and I have enough technological expertise to where I can podcast on the back of a mountain and we're going to film it. You know what I mean? So it's just an interesting thing. And just from me, these ideas might sound crazy to most people, but there's our wind again.
Woo.
The wind is also in the podcast.
It's fine. Just let it happen. We're enjoying nature right now.
When you said, I'm just going to put this under my foot.
Yep.
When you said, should we put this in the cab? And I said, no, maybe I should have listened to you.
Listen to your wife.
That's true.
It's a great point.
I want to illustrate the fact that I am a little bit of that eccentric, crazy entrepreneur. And for whatever reason, I have a family, and this is my wife, first and foremost included, that supports me in all of those crazy ideas. I have a nephew who will literally, at the drop of a hat, he's like, all right, let's go. Let's go figure this out. Let's go figure out what in the heck is going on.
Yeah.
And then obviously my parents have been huge supporters, and we have so many people in our family who it has stopped being crazy to them. And unfortunately, so many people who are trying to be business partners or more particularly entrepreneurs, when they have an idea, it gets shot down and their dreams are immediately attacked. And I don't know how you do it, because in a lot of times you supercharge my ideas. You don't just say, okay, I'll take a chance on your idea. You say, yeah, that's a great idea, but what if we added this? And you focus me in a way that I've never been focused before. So what is it kind of like, the act of becoming an entrepreneur yourself?
It's actually been quite a crazy roller coaster for me, because I grew up in a much more employee mindset.
Yeah.
That's kind of how my family was, and there was nothing wrong with that at the time. That's just how I grew up, and that's what life was for me, and I didn't really see anything else. I didn't know that chasing your dreams and challenging yourself and expanding your boundaries and growing in that regard, starting your personal growth journey, was even a possibility until I met you. And just to reiterate, the very first thing you said to me was, you've never met anyone like me, and I'm going to change your life. Truer words have never been spoken in my entire life to me. And because you push me and you hold me accountable and you want me to be better, and I aspire to be better because of you, that's why I was able to step outside of my comfort zone that I lived in for so long, and actually try new things and take risks and believe in myself and take chances on myself. And now I consider myself an entrepreneur, and I never did before. And to me, I thank you so much for that, because I know I couldn't have done any of that without you.
I think we need to get this out of the way really quickly. I also have never met anyone like you, and you have changed my life.
Oh, good.
So I'm just saying.
So the feeling's very mutual.
It's very
That's
mutual.
Good. That's good.
I don't know how in the world I was blessed enough to have you run into my life and change it the way that you did. But I just think it's important, open communication, and if the idea seems crazy, especially if it's a mate and if it's your best friend, don't shoot it down.
Right.
Just don't. Like, one of my friends, Matt Rao Sr., he put this in, if any of my business consulting clients out there, that you've heard me say this is where I got that. But he always said, hey, Greg, what I always said in my business was, don't get mad, get curious. How did this happen?
I love that.
Why are we here? Why do you think this, that, and the other? How did you let this be a thing, and I just think that that's something we've done really well with one another. If something happens or an idea fails or we're doing that, we don't get mad at each other. We get really curious. Hey, how can we be better next time?
And that's another thing that I always preach, is don't assume bad intent, because if I don't understand something, or maybe I get frustrated with you, or there's some sort of disconnect happening, I always take a step back and go, okay, I love him, I know him, he's so smart, he's so intelligent, he's so driven, why would he do that? Let's take a step back and think about, like you said, don't get mad, get curious. That's exactly the same thing. And we do that for each other on a daily basis.
Exactly right. And I think that is a really important lesson. And again, it's not just in marriages. It's not just in business partners.
It's in life.
It's in life. It's with your friendships, your relationships, who you talk to, your employer, employees. Don't get mad, get curious, have that relationship, and foster cultivate an idea. There's that wind. It's guest starring Wyoming's wind. But again, just go to the YouTube, look at where we are right now.
I got my baby hairs everywhere, let me tell you.
I'm telling you, it is fantastic where we are podcasting from right now.
It's beautiful.
In the back of a truck. We've got purple chairs for the final percent. But cultivate an environment where people want to bring their ideas out. And even if they're just baby ideas and they still need some watering, they still need to grow, that's how all ideas are born.
Right.
And you put the fertile soil out there and allow things to grow with you, around you, because of you, for you, from you. And remember, the truest essence of life is growth. And so allow things to grow. So I think that's the big thing. And again, don't get mad, get curious, right?
Yep.
And gosh, you're awesome.
You're awesome.
I love you so much. And this is fun. And adventure with your spouse.
Yes.
Make memories. Make memories.
Spice things up.
Ooh, spice things up. All right. Well,
in a different way.
or in the exact way that you're thinking.
In all of the best ways.
All right. Well, this has been the Final Percent podcast from the back of a truck on the back of a mountain at over 9,000 feet. Thank you so much for coming and visiting us today. The next one's with my nephew from another location.